Rlcraft is one of the most brutal things that I've ever experienced. Many have played this mod pack, but few have actually been able to beat it, let alone on Minecraft's hardest difficulty. So I've decided that I would rise above the pile of corpses and beat Rlcraft in hardcore mode. So far all of my attempts have led to death, except for this one, where I was finally able to obtain iron, except I can't use it. So how do I use iron? Well, Rlcraft adds a skill tree system that prevents you from doing certain things, like mining certain ore, farming crops, or being a valued member to society. I need to get to level 8 in attack, defense, mining, and gathering in order to use iron. In order to level up skills, you need the same amount of experience levels that your next level will be. For example, if I want to get to level 2 farming, I need 2 levels. And if I want level 3, I need 3. And it just keeps going on until you reach a point where there are no more numbers to reach, where you ascend past your physical limits. That is what I am striving for, and what I need if I ever want to kill this mod's bosses. You get experience levels from getting enough experience orbs from doing things like mining, farming, violating the 6th commandment, that sort of stuff. So in order to be able to use iron, I just need to play the game and not be afraid. So I decided to leave the third world country I currently live in, and I found a battle tower. I also found a cabin. There are literally 0 houses where I just came from. I'm definitely taking this. Except instead of people, I need to deal with dinosaurs. But just like people, dinosaurs are very weak to getting stabbed by swords. The reason I killed it wasn't for sport. I'm a good person, I'll never do that. But because my first meter is low, if it runs out completely, I die. I could drink the river water, but that water is full of parasites that slowly kill you. The water must first be absolved of all sins, and you do that by making a canteen and a charcoal filter. So I did all that stuff. And while I was doing all this villager set himself on fire. Was it because of me? I did steal their only source of food after all, but I'm a good person, I had my reasons. Night started to come, so I went to sleep. I must slaughter the innocent, like this mother dinosaur. To my surprise, these guys do not fight back if you attack them. So the mother died a slow and agonizing death as her child could only watch, unable to do anything. I left the child to grieve for the rest of its life. Then I realized letting that child live a life of pain and suffering is evil, and I'm not evil. So I put him out of his misery, and I leveled up my defense. I stumbled upon another village, and they actually have houses. The first building I saw in this village is in complete ruins, but it already looks a lot better than where I lived. It's at least a house. The other house is definitely better. They actually have valuable. The rest of the village seems to be fine, and they have a waystone, which lets me fast travel back to here whenever I want. I decided to prove that I am a good person by stealing all their food and clothes and giving them to the less fortunate being me. This house has a chest containing raw meat, probably not well preserved, and a bigger chest containing nothing. And as I was sleeping, I noticed a human skull sitting on the back of the couch. I don't think that meat was animal meat. I need to leave. I went back to doing the meteor's job for it. Nature decides to display a sick sense of humor by showing me a giant bee eating a rat alive, while its brother can do nothing but watch. Then the bee leaves the other rat alive. Does that bee have better morals than me? No, I'm better. I would have reunited them. I've been going without protection this entire time. Probably not the best idea. So I decided to make chainmail armor because I'm pretty sure chainmail is used for protection everywhere. Rlcraft adds more weapons to the game than just swords and bows. So I did some research and it turns out spears are better weapons than swords. So I made a stone spear and decided to test it out on dinosaur. But as the dinosaur fell to my spear, I felt a sense of regret for realizing I was leaving out the mammals. That's not very nice of me. So I decided to correct my mistake, and now I can level up again. But I'm killing these sheep for other reasons that are not selfish, because that's evil. And I'm trying to make as much bandages as possible. Each body part has its own health bar, which if depleted can do some pretty nasty stuff to you, like removing your ability to run, or just straight up killing you. The more animals I kill, the less experience is available to me. I also keep seeing dragons in every direction. So I'm going to explore the world to hopefully gain enough experience. I found a swamp, and in the swamp was a house. Maybe this time they won't be a murderer. Never mind, they have piles of bones spread across their house and also skulls in their bookshelves. What a perfect place to sleep for the night. After I got up, I went back to the ghost town for the last time to prepare for the long journey ahead. As my food was getting ready, I couldn't help but stare up to the sky in fear of dragons. I felt so powerless against this cruel and unforgiving world. I made my way back to the swamp, gathering as much wool and experience as I could. Meanwhile, my PC was probably receiving visions of heaven or something with how often it was close to dying. And past the swamp was a cabin that I swear I've seen before, but I just can't put my finger on it. Wait, Minecraft characters don't have fingers. How am I doing that? But as I was eating, I heard a strange noise coming from outside. Then a demon flew out my window. Maybe it wasn't heaven that my PC kept seeing visions of, but hell instead. In the past, I would run from my demons, but this journey has made me into a different person. I have learned that it is better to confront them instead. I may have took some damage, but I won. But then I heard another one. It wasn't alone, so I went back out to face him in combat, but I couldn't find it. It tried birding me, but I'm just as smart as I am strong, and I am very weak. And I went in the water to put out the fire. But then my game crashed. Man, dude, I was just about to do a 360 spear throw right into its brain and win. It looked like the demon was gone when I reopened the game, so I decided to just move on and be safe. As I was walking through this dense forest, the boss bar appeared at the top of the screen. Chaos Serpent. I'm a serpent, at least my profile picture is, which can only mean that this thing's existence is clearly a direct challenge to me. It must die. But I couldn't find it anywhere, and then another boss bar showed up. Precious? There are 2 hot single boss fights in my area, but I have no idea where they are, and I looked everywhere for them. My search for the secluded snake led me to another swamp. There was also a witch's hut, and another health bar popped up on my screen. Someone called Nightshade. I decided if I should stay in the waters, I should at least make a boat. But as I was gathering wood to make one, I heard some groaning noise. Something is near me that I cannot see and groaning, and I don't like what that implies. And then I witnessed an angel descend from heaven to send divine punishment to a witch, probably for witchcraft. But the witch threw an explosive potion and killed the angel. I gotta get out of here. I was able to make a boat and swim all the way back to the shore. And once again, I saw the Chaos Serpent boss bar. I found a mushroom forest and a temple too. This could be where the Chaos Serpent lives. So I swam to the temple so I can have a nice conversation and help him for its problems. Because I'm a good person. Actually, maybe I shouldn't be here. I then found a village of fairies, and I was so stunned at my discovery that I didn't even notice the act of theft until I needed a drink. But it turns out the fairies have nothing against me murdering their own kind, which probably makes them easier to take control over, which I would never do. It then started to turn dark, so I frantically searched for sheep to kill, and was lucky enough to make a bed and skip the night. I kept the ecosystem in balance and got level 5 mining, and found a battle tower. I was conflicted because I'm scared of battle towers because of the hordes of enemies they have. But if I'm going to beat Rlcraft, I can't be afraid of anything. So I decided to do it. I was confident at first I can stay out of reach with my spear, but then the zombies started falling from the upper floors, and this one spawned a geist which set me on fire. I got extremely close to death. I searched for any source of water I could, but then the fire stopped. I lived, so I tended to my wounds. The battle towers are definitely a bad idea. I'm never going to another one again. Battle tower attempt 2. This zombie is a rare type of enemy that has a number of buffs. One of them pushed me towards it as it was dying. It just so happened to spawn another geist that once again set me on fire. But this time I was blind, so I had no idea if I was going towards the pond or not. And the moment I could open my eyes, I realized the water was far out of reach, and my eyes closed just as soon as they opened. This was actually the second time I died, because the demon from earlier actually killed me. I cheated because I was afraid of starting over again. I thought about cheating again when dying from here, but I'm not facing my fears by doing that. So instead of cheating, I started again from the beginning. It seems like I've stumbled into a castle right where I found my gravel. As I was getting everything I needed, the Grim Reaper already decided my life was over. Except I know Depth's weakness. Carpentry. Should I be concerned that the Grim Reaper is after me? Probably not. I immediately went back to helping the dinosaurs with their problems. I'm sorry, but your relatives died years ago. Let me help you get back to them. Then they told me to kill the sheep. I wouldn't do it otherwise. After getting a closer look at the castle, it looks like it's empty. It's just enough space for me to move in. I think I forgot my schizophrenia medication. One great thing about this castle is the wheat in front of it. Farming is a great way to get experience as long as you can farm. Thankfully, all that wildlife conservation I did earlier gave me more than enough experience needed to level up farming. I realized that tools and weapons have different qualities that affect how useful it is. My stone sword and stone pickaxe are just as valuable to society as I am. I decided to finally step outside for once and visit a village nearby my castle, and announce to the townspeople about their new ruler. Hopefully they didn't just revolt against the previous one. Oh look, one of their houses are on fire, and there's a dragon nearby. I'm starting to think this wasn't the best place to make my home. Well, at least this place seems to have water I can easily access. It seems to be clean. Oh no, never mind. I think I'm beginning to understand why this castle was empty when I found it. I realized that I found no sugar canes in this world, so I decided to explore in hopes of finding sugar canes. While exploring, I found a wooden box. I wonder what's inside. It's probably like Pandora's box, and opening it deletes her world or something like that. I feel like anything could happen. My thirst became more apparent due to my screen blurring. I had no choice but to drink the unclean river water, but my thirst remained unquenched, so I started killing cows that had absolutely no relation to the lack of water. But trust me, I had a reason. Then I got scared when I saw this rat come up to me. It brought back painful memories. The cow sacrifice gave me enough leather to make a full set of leather armor. This was actually my reason for killing all those cows. I told you could trust me. Subscribe. Trust me. Having armor doesn't really help me dying from dehydration. I still need sugar canes. I didn't find sugar canes, but at least I found iron, and I had just enough levels in order to mine it. Also, I took off my pants. I'm not sure why I did that. I saw a floating island that I thought would make a cool spot for a house, and then I finally found sugar canes. I could finally drink clean water. I got so excited at getting sugar canes that I consumed brain-eating parasites, but there was a nymph nearby, so it wasn't actually that big of an issue. Eventually, I got back home. Also, I found iron along the way, so I mean, that's cool. I was finally able to drink clean water. I should probably place this sugar cane somewhere so I don't have to go through that again. Finally remembered my actual goal for this video and went back to farming for experience. I'll borrow all these crops the villagers have. I'll give them back eventually. And once I stepped foot into this village, I saw sugar canes, meaning my never-ending thirst was meaningless. I'm not giving their food back. I also wanted to get this coal, but that was a problem. You see, in normal Minecraft, getting coal is simple, but in Rlcraft it's almost the same, except with the risk of getting murdered by a rock monster. I decided to encase myself in a box so that the rock guy couldn't get to me, but it never showed up, so I just did that for no reason, I guess. I then proceeded to get my legs broken by 2 children, and then finally, after hours of non-stop pain and misery, I was finally able to reach level 8 in defense. I could finally use iron armor, except I used most of the iron I had in order to make chainmail armor. It was at this point I realized I'm an idiot. At least I had 12 bars left, and I used 3 of them to make a bucket, so that I can make a farm to grow more wheat. Somehow the previous owner of this castle was smart enough to figure out how to grow crops without water while also placing wooden furniture next to a block of lava. While I waited for the wheat to grow, I decided to head back to the village to help out my community by taking everything they had. How do I justify this? Including an iron skirt. Don't laugh. This gives me plus 14 defense. My desire for more experience drew me closer to the dragon, but I need it if I ever want to be able to strike it down one day. I also finally learned the name of my new empire. Yeah, I'm definitely changing that. And as I was about to obtain more wheat, the dragon decided to head in this direction. I proved myself as a virtuous ruler by completely abandoning my people in their time of need. I got mauled by a rabbit. And yes, I know what you're thinking. This is supposed to be a rabbit. It is. I know it doesn't look like one. It is. Trust me. But then I realized that half of this game's name is mine, so I mined for resources. I mean, it's actually half this game's name is RL, but like what about any of this, it means real life. And then finally I made iron armor. Now I just need to be able to use the weapons and tools. I murdered the skeleton and leveled up in the attack. Is it really murder if they're already dead? And is it still immoral to do so? Afterwards I went back to my castle to see that I was untouched during the crisis. And it also seems like the village was fine too. I guess doing nothing during a crisis is the morally correct thing to do. I think so. Is it morally correct? I'm not really sure. If I can level up attack one more time, then I can use iron weapons. I did this by murdering dinosaurs, which sounds bad, but it's actually debated whether or not dinosaurs have souls, which means it's not evil to kill them. Sheep do have souls, so killing them would be wrong. I mean, they're probably gonna destroy the world, right? I think sheep probably have it in them. I'm sure it's justified. And then the Grim Reaper came back to once again claim my soul. But it turned out that death is just as weak to rocks as it is to wood. I guess sticks and stones really do break bones, even the bones of death. A few dead sheep later, I got to level 8 attack. I can now finally use iron weapons. I only have 2 skills left and I'm already almost done with them. Can't believe I'm already almost done. Wait, why does this video still have more time left? The village looks okay, but I can still see the dragon's destruction from my castle. Devin and the dragon feel so close to me. I still can't help but just look up. I decided to open the wooden box. No. And while I was mining for iron, I was unfortunate enough to unearth one of those rock monsters, or I guess they're called geonacs, and I killed it, no problem, so I guess I was just worried about nothing. Alright, it turns out that halberds are to spears what jaguars are to leopards. The same thing, but just better in every way. The only issue of halberds is that you can't use shields with them, but I'm not really using shields, so it just really doesn't matter to me. I explored the world and reaped it of its natural resources for my own benefit. That is... wow, that's bad. Huh. I'm starting to think I'm not a good person. Then this dragon appeared out of nowhere and almost gave me a heart attack. I mean, not really, not really gave me a heart attack, it's just a game. Probably heart attacks probably are a mechanic in Rlcraft. Oh, let's be real. It is, probably. It got dark as I was heading back home, and these 2 skeletons decided to stop me right in front of my house and shoot all over me. When I finally got to my bed, my sleep paralysis demon appeared to prevent me from going to sleep by killing me, but I was able to kill it at first. I was also able to get 1 level away to complete mining. I headed out to once again explore in hopes of finding something to give me experience. I eventually found this strange looking building that I learned quickly was some kind of morgue. The horde of zombies kind of gave that away. I managed to kill them all and I had just enough to level up mining. But just as I was able to do it, I got suspended into the air, then a zombie shot a fireball at me. The explosion of the fireball summoned something called a tremor, which is basically an evil spirit that explodes things, and it tried to kill me, but I killed it first, and I was able to kill the zombie, but killing it made me drop my halberd, and while I was picking the halberd back up, another zombie came up from behind me and killed me instantly. If I could describe the sequence of events that just happened to me in one word, I would probably use the word stronzate, which is Italian for bullshit. That is as far as I have ever gotten. I probably just had a few enemies left. I really want to cheat, but I feel like I shouldn't. I mean, they say the third time's the charm, so maybe? I started in a forest so cold that it froze both my character and my PC. That's a weird looking waterfall. Hello dinosaurs, I come in peace. And then the attempt almost ended right here. At least I already have wood, I guess, but I still need gravel. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be looking at. Perhaps it is a representation of the beauty behind the balance of nature. Oh wait, this castle already has sugar canes. Man, that took me way longer last time, but I haven't leveled up yet, so I can't get them. This animal is the first of its kind I ever saw, and I killed it. I was hungry. I'm sure that's reasonable. There was a settlement nearby, so I decided to pay it a visit. And the one person living there ended their lives as soon as I came in. And then this thing, which only attacks threats to the village, tried to kill me and got kind of close to succeeding. Am I really that big of a threat? And as soon as I was a safe distance from it, I started freezing. And then it started to get dark, but I was able to make a sleeping bag, which was something you could make this entire time. I kindly asked some sheep for their wool and experience. If I have manners, then there's no way I can be evil, right? And then I saw a skeleton with a trumpet instead of a bow. Oh, he wants to play a song for me. That's nice. Die! Should have become a doctor instead, skeleton. I killed the rest of the wildlife. There was no excuse for this horrible action, but deer are notorious for starting a crisis. I had to stop them, and I took notice of the ocean that I kept seeing no matter where I went, and I figured I was on an island. I guess I'm gonna have to sail the open seas in hopes of gaining more experience. After landing on an island and leveling up attack at the cost of innocent lives, I saw what seemed to be a weird looking ship. It was decorated with lots of pumpkins, and has some chests locked as if there's something I shouldn't know, and it's decorated with gateways to alternate dimensions housed by cosmic entities. I think this ship belonged to a cult. For some reason I feel like I would fit right in here. They have iron, which is nice, but this place isn't giving me the experience I needed. So back to the ocean, I guess. I found another morgue. This one actually seems kind of tame. And finally got to the level needed for sugarcanes again. I'm being swarmed. Please forget what I said earlier. But despite being overwhelmed and losing my weapon, I was able to survive and got really close to finishing the fence. I went back to the ship, got clean water again, and decided that I I wanted to see what it was that the cult wanted to keep secret. So I made some luck picks just to see what's in the locked chest, and unleash onto this world 2 fish and an apple. What have I done? I chose to explore the oceans once again to see what I can find. I found a castle, but it was in ruins and honestly not that interesting. I found another castle, eerily similar to my previous one, except this one has a block in it, so whoever owned this place was at least slightly more competent. It also looks like they had a neighbor too, a 20-foot tall man who decorated his place with rib cages. I suddenly don't want to live here. I eventually saw what seemed to look like a tower in the distance. When I got closer to it, I realized it was made of water. Wait a minute, is this the same one from earlier? It must be a coincidence. No, wait, these are the same 2 structures. I'm back where I started. I got my defense leveled up again, so that's nice at least. As I was figuring out what to do, this rabbit decided to test my reflexes, or give me a kiss, I'm not quite sure. Oh, and the dragon is here now. So instead of going further, I tested my luck with these 2 rabbits instead. I'm not evil for doing this, because rabbits are unholy, soulless, wretched beasts that make even the devil cry. I made another boat and decided to head back to the cult ship. I never did, because I got lost. I think I finally discovered new land, and I found a cat, which is a sign of civilization nearby, which means there's crops to steal, or borrow. I'm honestly not sure what my morals are anymore. How are these crops fully grown with no water? Also, how is it not night? I can literally see the moon. What did you just say to me? No, seriously, like your text box popped up for like 1 second. I couldn't read it. I did some farming and I got to level 8 defense, but I don't have enough iron to make a full set, so I've just been naked this entire time. And you were watching me. What the fuck is wrong with you? I can make boots at least. What is it with this world and using bones as decor? I heard a sound, then I witnessed a horse die, and when I was sorting my inventory, this Legend of Zelda fish creature started to chew my legs, but apparently they follow the same rule as vampires, so I poked it to death. And afterwards I was attacked by a water elemental that completely shattered my right leg, and was immediately assaulted by a crab, while Nautilus was just waiting for me in the ocean. And then like 2 other things that I couldn't see were down there as well. I think Philosophobes have a point. I'm gonna stay as far away from the ocean as I can get, so I'm going up this mountain. I just need to climb, except I can't climb. This isn't surprising. Snakes are not known for their leg strength. For now. I eventually got up the mountain and found another village. As I started to harvest this village wheat, a plant spirit emerged from the earth and sprayed me with poison rays. I honestly shouldn't be surprised that even farming has a risk of death to it. It was starting to get dark and the house that I was hiding in didn't have a bed, so I had to sneak to another house. I looked up and saw that thing was still there. Why is danger always from above? I found a house with a bed and it also had a bottle of enchanting in it, but it only got me like 1 level up. I mean, I'll take what I can get. And as I was getting more bread, an angel descended from the heavens to send divine punishment to me. I'm not the hero, am I? I found some iron weapons in this chest. I just need to get to level 8 attack again, so in order to get that, I'm gonna kill every last one of these sheep. And while I was doing that, a demon shot fire at me. Neither heaven nor hell is on my side, apparently. I need to figure this whole morality thing out, and what better way to do that than to solve absurd trolley problems? I think everyone at this point knows the first one. I'm just gonna choose, and 73% people disagree. Okay. Now I have to decide between people's lives and my life savings. Honestly, the only way these people live is if they're billionaires, and that's only if they give me money. Now it's asking me to sacrifice myself. Oh, no, wait, I'm in the majority? Some heroes you guys are. Are you asking me to destroy the Mona Lisa? How dare you? I have a passion for the Renaissance arts. I would never. 74% of people have no taste in fine art. This rich guy offered me $500,000 to save his life. However, he was wearing a top hat, and I hate top hats, so I killed him. My past experience of ocean life made me kill the lobsters. I didn't want to interrupt these people's good night's sleep, so I ran over the guy who was alive and could feel pain. This time, the lever speeds up the trolley. I mean, they're gonna die anyways. I might as well just give them time to reflect on a wonderful life they had. It's just one guy right now, but my Amazon package would run late. Sorry, but those items have more value than your life ever did. Easiest decision of my life, 77% of people are wrong. Now I have to choose between my life and the lives of 5 identical clones. What if I'm actually one of the 5 clones? What if we're all clones? What if I'm the one speaking into this microphone, making these videos right now, am a clone of myself, and all the past few years of my life have been nothing but a lie? Let's just move on. I don't want to think about this. I'm not dealing with AI again. Nothing on the rail this time, but I turned the lever anyways, hoping to ruin the driver's day or life. Everyone works for me. Now the trolley is in an endless loop. Pulling the lever would kill them, but I don't want to be a murderer. So I did nothing and let them stay in that endless loop for eternity. My last test of morality. Do I save my worst enemy? No. I killed 88 people. That's pretty close to 100. Yeah, I'm not a good person. Anyways, back to animal slaughter. Once I got to level 8 attack, I went to sleep and permanently borrowed the weapons. And the first thing I did with these weapons is to kill more sheep and also mine coal. This one ended up being a geonac, but I didn't do a good job boxing it in, so I tried hiding in the ocean instead. After all, rocks cannot swim. No, they can't. I shouldn't have trusted the ocean. What am I even doing anymore? I don't even think I'm having fun anymore, if I ever was to begin with. I don't want to keep losing, but I do want to succeed, and I've gotten close twice now. I know I can do it. I just need to try again. As long as I know what I want, nothing can stop me, and I will do anything to reach my destination. I immediately started getting flint tools, only for both a zombie and an ent to appear and try to stop me, but I wasn't having any of it. The zombie went down with ease. The ent was more of an issue. On my first ever attempt, this was the enemy that killed me, but since then I learned a lot. I learned that trees get cut down by axes, and ents are trees, so I chopped it with my axe, but it wasn't enough, so I ran away. I then made a better axe and chopped it again, and this time I was able to kill it with a weapon made of wood. That would be like if I stabbed someone with a knife made of human flesh. I then desecrated an ancient ruin just so I can get cobblestone and used it to make a furnace and a halberd. I traumatized yet another baby dinosaur. This time I left it alive to be depressed for the rest of its life. Grabbed the sugar canes I spawned next to and made some filters. Now I just need a canteen. I then proceeded to wipe out the entire wildlife in my area. It must be done if I want to become stronger. The Grim Reaper appeared to challenge me once again, but I have a halberd. It looks like there are no signs of civilization near me. This time I'm truly alone. The only sign that there was anyone living here are these two towers. I was choosing between which tower to live in, but I decided to live in the one that wasn't in ruins. And when I tried to go to bed, the Grim Reaper came back. It seemed like he learned to stay out of reach of my halberd. He also learned a hidden martial art technique called crashing my game, which also ended up erasing him from existence. I guess I can't die now? I was killing every sheep I could find when the Grim Reaper came back again. Never mind, I guess death is still possible. After killing death again, I resumed my sheep genocide, then stopped to sleep in this abandoned house that I vandalized. After waking up, I found some iron and made the dinosaurs extinct again, getting my defense all the way up to 6, but I know I can go further. I chopped every tree in my area and burned them so I can burn iron, and used that iron to get chainmail. Then while I was killing dinosaurs, I had a revelation. Halberds and spears might be great for stabbing things from far away, but if you throw knives, they can stab things even farther away. So I made as many throwing knives as I can. But then it turned out that each throwing knife you make is actually 16 sets of knives instead of 1, and I have 20 of these in my inventory, which means I'm carrying 320 knives. How am I carrying all those knives without hurting myself? I finally got revenge on the rat, corrected one of nature's errors, and murdered 2 dinosaurs unprovoked, and I was finally at level 8 defense once again. But I can't celebrate just yet, because I still have 3 more skills left. I found more rats, and once again enacted my vengeance, and this one dropped rabbit meat. Hey, that's the wrong animal. Or is it the right one? Have these things been rabbits the entire time? I guess bunnies have been my true enemy all this time. I mined some iron so I can make armor, then started another sauropod slaughter. I decided that this would be a great time to test out my knives, and I learned that knives hurt if you stand too close, but I kept hurting myself, so maybe I didn't learn that. All of this destruction of nature got me the level 5 attack. I then made iron armor and continued my rampage on the ecosystem. I ended up finding this abandoned building with coal on the walls, and I went straight to mining without any safety precautions. And in this hour of carelessness, a geonac emerged from the earth, and in this moment, I thought it was over. I ended up quitting the game because I was too scared to face death yet again, but I got back on and just fought back with everything I had, and I lived. My left foot was completely shattered, both my legs and right arm were 1 hit away from deletion, and I was suffering from severe head trauma, but at least I was still alive. And besides, all that stuff is something that a simple band-aid can take care of. I found a ladder and decided to climb down, only to be greeted by a plant spirit. I climbed back up, but it followed me. Unfortunately for it, I had the high ground this time, but it did end up splitting my head in half, which I patched up. I think my body is slowly becoming more bandage than skin. After cleansing a few imperfections, I was 1 level away from finishing attack, so I wiped out every living thing in my path, sparing nothing, throwing any morals I had left away to make myself slightly more powerful, and I was able to get to level 8 attack. This is as far as I've gotten in my last 2 attempts, but I still have 2 left, and I no longer just think, I know I can do it. I went back to my base and realized I didn't have any of the materials needed for a halberd, so I made a sword instead. I went outside to find wool, but instead found vermin that needed to be exterminated terminated. Then I remembered that you could just make wool with 4 strings, and after getting sticks, I was able to make some poles, and then an iron halberd, the best weapon at this point of the game, and I used it on some pest in my yard, and I got to level 5 mining, and also killed whatever this thing is. As I was killing dinosaurs, I think I've said that before, I thought about trying a battle tower, but I decided not to. I figured killing nature was probably the more reliable option. Then I saw a rabbit far away, and I knew that I couldn't let it live, but it ended up being more brutal than I thought it would. My head was one more hit away from death. I went back to kill more animals. Can you tell I'm running out of creative ways to talk about how I'm killing animals? I also gathered some resources because I was running low. I'm 1 level away from finishing up mining, but I got so caught up in population reduction that I didn't realize it was turning night. I was nowhere near my original base, so I decided to take refuge in this house with the convenient lack of stable ground. But before I could even settle in, the neighbors decided to pay me a visit. I greeted them with my halberd. To keep myself safe, I put a wall in between myself and the neighbors. Then as I was using wool blocks, I realized, wait a second, I could just make a sleeping bag, but there were monsters nearby, so I couldn't sleep. But then I guess they just left because once I tried again, I was able to sleep. But as I woke up, I saw a giant bird next to me. These birds are capable of picking you up and dropping you to your death, so I exited from the back instead of the front, and once I went outside, I saw this very welcoming sight. I was a little worried until they just burned up in the sunlight. This skeleton was one of those enemies that have random buffs, but it folded to my knives quickly. I can't believe these enemies used to give me problems. It dropped so much experience that not only I finished mining, but was almost halfway done with gathering, my final skill. I almost can't believe how close I am. As I was killing the zombie, I combusted out of nowhere and got very scared, but nothing happened. The pelican that startled me upon my awakening decided to reveal itself, and it actually ended up being an easier fight than I expected. But then the Grim Reaper showed himself yet again. He actually kind of put up a fight this time and successfully blinded me, making it harder to throw my knives. Little did he know, I always close my eyes when I throw knives, probably why I'm always hitting myself. Once the battle was over, I was able to level up gathering 2 more times. I decided to head back home and took out the food in my furnace and replaced it with iron. That food was cooked in the same temperature that iron melts. It's charred beyond belief. I mean, I was able to level up gathering once, so that's good I guess, but it's taking too long to be completely done. So while waiting, I went outside to check on how the environment was doing since I left. I saw that it was thriving, and I personally couldn't allow that to happen. My yard was especially infested with pests. My food and iron was done, and after it was done I got 9 levels, enough to level up gathering. 1 time, but I still had 5 levels left. If I can just get 3 levels, I'll finally be worthy enough to fully wield steel. 1 dinosaur got me to level 6. These bunnies, no matter how many times they die, they always come back, but they got me to level 7. I just need 1 more, but no one was around anymore. The once full, vibrant fields are now empty and dull. I think my thirst for power has gone too far. Oh wait, I see a rabbit. Never mind, I take back what I said. And Death reared its ugly head for hopefully the last time. And after Death died, I got 8 levels. After 10 hours, I finally have level 8 in all the skills needed to use iron. I am done with less than 1% of the game. I tried killing a rabbit in celebration, but as it fled for its life, I thought about the person I became, or rather who I always was. I did so many horrible things, but I never wanted to hurt anyone. So I let it go, sparing the life of a bunny, my worst enemy, because I am a good person. I fucking told you so. I ran back home and made an iron axe and shovel. I finally have them all. I spent the remaining minutes of the day staring at the sunset. For the first time, I wasn't looking into the sky out of fear of death from above. This time I was hopeful. I achieved something I thought I never could, and I know that it's just the beginning. One day I will truly conquer Rlcraft, except I'm tired. So I think for now, I'll take a long nap.